Besides, you must realize this isn't the sort of decision I can make overnight.
Well, take your time, Professor. There's no hurry. Convention is still a long way off. We better not take any more of your time. I know how busy you are. Come along, boys.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Sullivan.
I'm going to say I'd be afraid.
Jewelson, I have a feeling that this, shall we say, casual meeting is going to be the beginning of a very delightful association for all of us. Indeed, I regard it as the beginning of a new era in the state of New Jersey, one upon which we will all look back with everlasting pride. Good night, sir.
Good night, Senator.
And you will think it over, Professor.
I'll do better than that, Senator. I'll have my wife think it over.
Good night.
Good night, Mr. WlsnB.
Was that really Big Ed himself?
In person?
What did he want?
Oh, nothing of any importance. He merely wants me to run for governor.
Governor? Jerusalem! You, Governor?
And why not?
What did you tell him?
Oh, that I'd think it over. And, of course, ask your permission.
Woodrow, you didn't.
Have I ever done anything foolish without asking your permission?
Woodrow, I know you haven't any personal ambition just to hold office, but you must admit the opportunity is rather unusual.
So it is. So it is.
You must get awfully tired sometimes of a mere talking profession.
You're quite right, my dear. I will admit there are moments when the academic life has its drawbacks. The idea of a man my age suddenly giving up a nice, comfortable way of life and launching out in a sea of ifs and buts sounds like the account of a fool.
But Woodrow, you've always been interested in politics.
Only as an observer on the sidelines, my dear.
Yes. How about the time when you were a student at the University of Virginia and wrote your father that you'd made up your mind you were going to be a senator?
Yes, and had cards printed. Senator Thomas Woodrow Wilson.
A youthful indiscretion. I was young then, young lady. Very young. About your mental age. Besides, you know perfectly well I've certain responsibilities to Princeton.
Your work at Princeton is done, and you know it. You believe in the principles of democratic equality, the abolition of any special privileged class. If these things are worthwhile at all, don't they apply to all the people, not just to Princeton?
You mean you really think I should seriously consider it?
Oh, I do, Woodrow. I most assuredly do.
We all
We
do,
all do.
Father. Oh, Father, you'd make a beautiful governor.
Of course.
I declare I never met such a collection of ambitious women in my life. If I do go into this thing, and mind you, I'm not saying I will, I warn you, and you, you're going to have to kiss all the babies. That's one thing I draw the line on.
Neither have they had any experience with a man like Father before.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Many of my friends are very much worried about this campaign. They tell me I'm conducting it in the worst possible way because it appears I'm asking you people to think. On the other hand, my opponents are even more worried because they expected my speeches to be mere academic lectures on government filled with glittering generalities that have nothing to do with the situation in New Jersey. Apparently, they've deluded themselves into thinking that I have no political experience. Good heavens, no political experience. I wonder if these gentlemen have ever attended a faculty meeting or seen the wives of the trustees in action.
That's all very amusing, Mr. Wilson. Why don't you tell us what kind of a deal you've made with the bosses?
Sit down. Sit down.
I've made no deal with anyone.
I suppose you're going to deny that there's even such a thing as a boss system in New Jersey.
No. The existence of the boss system is notorious.
Then what are you going to do about it?
Bend all my energies to breaking it up.
When you say bosses, do you mean Big Ed Jones, Jim Binker, and Ed Sullivan? Hey, who's that boy?
Joe Tumilty, one of them Irish lawyers in the legislature. Claims to be a Democrat, but he ain't voted right once. Not once. Shut up! Shut up! Quiet! Everybody, quiet!
All right. Go ahead.
Thank you, Judge.
Of course I mean Big Ed. I feel about him exactly as I feel about every other boss, whether he's a Democrat or a Republican. Senator Jones understands exactly how I feel. In fact, just so there would be no misunderstanding about it, he has given me his word that in no circumstances would he permit his name to be presented to the legislature as a candidate for re-election to the United States Senate, an office for which I consider him utterly unfitted.
What do you say, Big Ed? I say the candidate speaks for the party.
Sees you. Let them.
Great. He'll win in a war.
Yeah, but suppose he means it.
Nonsense. They had him in a corner. What else could he say?
That's the same. I don't like the cut of that fellow's jaw.
I tell you, he's something new in politics. A scholar and a gentleman with ideals and principles. You can't beat that when it comes to electioneering.
Wasn't he wonderful?
The most idiotic campaign speech in the whole history of politics.
I don't understand.
He means what he says.
Gentlemen, your attention, please. 9:18 p.m. Returns from 22 counties. Wilson leading by 40,000 majority.
Mr. Wilson, will you step on the other side of Mr. Wilson? All of you look this way, please. Mrs. Wilson, thank you.
Where do you expect to live, Mrs. Wilson?
Well, we haven't made our plans yet.
What are you girls going to wear to the inauguration?
I don't know.